Hey, Penal Central. This is Noah Cullen. I'm the Criminal Justice and Issues reporter. I wanted to talk about a story I wrote a couple weeks ago with my fellow reporter Kenny Quayle on the Pinal County Sheriff's Office's use of social media, which is particularly used through the show that everybody knows, called Fridays with Frank. Throughout Sheriff Mark Lamb's time at the Sheriff's Office, they have signed production deals with numerous companies to film their deputies on patrol, but we wanted to focus on Fridays with Frank more in particular because it has created a local celebrity out of the host of that show, whose name is Frank Slope. People will come up to him on the street and introduce themselves, and when he pulls people over on the show, people will recognize him. The sheriff contends that these videos and these shows increase transparency for officers, and they humanize the badge, and they help with recruitment. It isn't to say that these shows don't have their detractors. Members of the public will show up to Pinal County Board of Supervisors meetings and say that these shows distort public perceptions of policing and of crime, and that they create notions of good versus evil, black and white narratives like that. In order to wrestle with these contending ideas, I spoke to two former sheriffs, and Roger Vanderpool and Chris Vasquez, who more or less agreed that shows like this can humanize the badge and can increase transparency, but they were both careful to draw red lines between that and bleeding into more entertainment, or when it comes to helping campaigns of the sheriff and things like that. To end the story, we wanted to end with some broader research, given that these sorts of conversations have been going on for a while, given that shows like Live PD and Cops have been around for so long, and the Fridays with Frank is sort of an example of the modern version of that, given that it's posted on social media and it isn't broadcasted like those traditional sort of shows. But conversations around racial bias in policing and in classism, and an emphasis on violent crime versus white collar crime, these conversations have been around for a while, and we're continuing to have them.